Hello and welcome to Curriculum 3 training. Today we'll be going over our mission, core values, and philosophy, Curriculum 3 overview, essentials for coaches, and just having a great season. Our mission: to inspire girls to be joyful, healthy, and confident using a fun, experience-based curriculum which creatively integrates running. Girls on the Run core values. We strive to recognize our power and responsibility to be intentional in our decision making, embrace our differences and find strength in our connectedness, express joy, optimism, and gratitude through our words, thoughts, and actions, nurture our physical, emotional, and spiritual health, lead with an open heart and assume positive intent, stand up for ourselves and others. Our overall philosophy and approach, embraced and implemented by the organization, is positive youth development. Girls on the Run is a physical activity-based positive youth development program, or pptx, designed to develop and enhance girls' social, psychological, and physical competencies to successfully navigate life experiences. These competencies are most often referred to as life skills. What this means is that GOTR is a program that teaches physical skills and life skills concurrently. A pptx program has the content, structure, training, and motivating elements that promote healthy lifestyles and prevent unhealthy and risky behaviors. This diagram summarizes the PYD approach. We are so excited to implement the new version of Curriculum 3. Some of you know versions 1 and 2 like the back of your hand, so it's exciting to start something new. Just so you are all aware of how the curriculum was developed by Rationale, they first started with the 5 C's plus 1 and then worked backwards to map to learning goals, and then they included the games and activities. They also incorporated PYD concepts, and they also had a pilot which included 25 teams, and the coaches provided feedback after each lesson, and then they were also interviewed, and then they revamped everything to create this new curriculum. It is fresh and new, but it is still GOTR. As you can see, the learning goals and the topics are intact. However, games, activities, and the lessons are different. They wanted to reinforce learning from previous versions of the curriculum, but add new learning opportunities that will continue to challenge and engage the girls. Each lesson follows this structure, which is somewhat different than versions 1 and 2. Some of the new aspects of this curriculum, as you can see, are Coaches, Are You Ready? And Girls, Are You Ready? In Coaches, Are You Ready? They add target life skills, and this is the 5 C's plus 1 targeted in, whatever's targeted in that specific lesson. And then also the think about part is they have questions for coaches to consider before the lesson, which relates to the topic that you previously have discussed. And this provides an opportunity for coaches to talk with one another about the lesson and ensure that they are on the same page. In the section where it says, Girls, Are You Ready? This is an informal conversation that you should have before the official start of the lesson, such as when all the girls are putting on their shoes, filling their water bottles. This should connect to the prior lessons and kind of reinforce concepts from the last session. And this is usually done either in small groups or possibly one-on-one with some of the girls. Let's take a look at the getting on board. As you can see, they put a time allotment up there, and that is for every section of the lesson. They kind of help you map it out. So with the getting on board, there's setting the stage, the setup, how it's done, and then the processing piece. After that comes the stretch and strengthening, which is included at the beginning of the curriculum. This should only take about 3 to 4 minutes. That's all the girls really need. Next, moving on to the warm-up, this activity will take the girls a little deeper into the topic area and will continue to warm up their bodies for the workout. Also note that there is a change here, that they have taken out the processing out of this section. They want the girls to keep moving and the lesson flowing. Also, during this warm-up, there also may be a lap goal included, but we will talk about that a little bit later. As with previous versions of the curriculum, the processing section is critical to facilitating the girls' understanding and encouraging them in how to apply the lessons and skills in other areas of their lives. Once again, there will be some targeted questions and content provided for coaches to use, so you can just literally read from the book. Included in this section may be a follow-up of that lap goal I was talking about that they set before the workout. They have also included life skills goal to this section. These goals are specific encouragements or challenges to the girls to take a piece of the lesson and apply it to their real life outside Girls on the Run, such as their home or school. These life skills goals are used to promote continuity between lessons and will be part of the next lesson's Girls Are You Ready section. The highlight of the lesson for so many girls will continue to be that signature time of giving and receiving energy awards, doing the closing cheer. So please make sure you are doing energy awards with your girls. They can either be celebrating themselves or possibly someone else on their team. For examples of energy awards, you can always go to YouTube and also on the coaches portal with International, and I will also be including some on our coaches portal on our website, so you can check them out there. Also, please don't be shy and share some on our Facebook page. Have the girls act it out, take a video, and share it with us, especially if they come up with a new one. Just to reiterate how important energy awards are, if you talk to a lot of girls that do them, they are their favorite part. Also, it just reinforces positive behavior. Some examples that you should model are someone showed care or concern or honor the entire group by achieving a certain goal. And just be mindful of who has received an energy award and make sure every girl gets one at one point during the season. There are a few special additions to Curriculum 3 that we want to highlight separately. The first one that we want to highlight is the identity card. This special tool will be used throughout the season for processing and creating a visual history of each girl's experience at Girls on the Run. Coaches will keep these all season and bring them out as directed for girls to add pictures, words, and phrases that will help them reflect on what they are learning. At the end, they can take them home so they can remember what they learned and all of the things that make them unique. You can keep those in the manila envelope that we provided in your coach box and bring them to every lesson. On the back of the identity card, you'll see what's called My Goals. This is used throughout the season for girls to track their personal lap goals and accomplishments. The focus is on personal effort and improvement. Coaches will need to be sure to identify what a lap is depending on what lesson or workout you do. The directions for using My Goals are included in the workouts and processing sections at the end of each lesson. The Star Power Visualization is a new exercise which takes the place of the sparkly cord. We use the imagery of a star that is shining within. It is not dependent on an outside source for its shine, but reflects the special and unique qualities within each of our girls. Just as each and every star is unique, so are each of our girls. The Community Impact Project is a unique and important part of Girls on the Run experience. It is an opportunity within the season for the girls to come together and use the skills they have been learning to make a difference for others. It is an important experience in group decision-making, service, and giving back of themselves. Now remember, the coach's role in this project is to facilitate the decision and help execute their plan, not to decide on the project for the girls and then plan it all out. We're all trying to empower these girls, so please let them have a say of what they want to do. Now, based on feedback from coaches, Rationale has implemented the community service project and introduced it much earlier in the season. It is important for coaches to know from the beginning how it will play out. So in lesson 7, the girls will start thinking about what people or causes are important to them. Then lesson 10, the girls work together to identify possible projects that support the groups that they care about. Lesson 12, they review the projects and decide what project they're going to implement. Lesson 20, they work together to assign roles and responsibilities related to that project. And then lesson 21, they implement it. So please be sure that you are doing this with your girls. It's a very important piece to Girls on the Run. There are new added side notes, and each icon is placed within a lesson to help coaches do their best job facilitating the lesson. So there are coaches' notes, which are typically used to add to coaches' understanding of the topic, engaging repeat participants, and this gives you hints or ideas for coaches that have girls that have participated numerous times. There's also the time management piece, which just helps you kind of manage your time. The variation icon helps you kind of vary the activity depending on the topic and the content of the lesson. This can add difficulty to the lesson, or also it can just help you if you have a larger group or smaller teams. One other icon is called the exercises and will point out which strengthening and stretching sets are recommended for that lesson. As a coach, you want to create an environment that supports positive youth development. So look at some of these key concepts: emotional safety, belonging and relationships, value diversity, having consistent and clear expectations. Make sure you're looking at the how there. Also, you can find these in the beginning of your curriculum so that you can refer to them later. Here are some more: setting individual goals and applying effort over time, freedom of choice, focus on skill building, create a mastery motivational climate, and motivation from within. So think back to that one good, great coach and teacher that you've had and apply those to your coaching style. Let's just review some of the key points of the lesson. So coaches, are you ready? That's the beginning. That's an opportunity for coaches to talk about the lesson. Then girls, are you ready? This should be done before the lesson and reinforce prior learning. Getting on board, brief introduction to the topic of the day. Then stretch and strengthening, which should only take about 3 to 4 minutes. Then there's the warm-up piece, and remember, they have changed that. There's no processing after this piece. They just want the girls to warm up their bodies and kind of move into the workout. Then the workout, girls will continue with whatever theme that is that day and get their bodies moving. And then finally, the processing and wrap up to definitely use those processing questions and do energy awards and have a great time while you're doing it. Remember also, 2 new things that were added to Curriculum 3 are their identity cards and the lap goals. So please make sure you're using those and bringing them to each lesson. Just a few little pointers when you're preparing to coach. Make sure you've looked over the lesson, kind of picture how the games may go. can always email one of us so we can help you, visualize it if you're having a hard time figuring out how the game works. Also, be sure to communicate with your coaching staff to see who may take what piece. Maybe someone's doing the wrap-up and energy award, somebody else is taking the workout piece. Just make sure you communicate that correctly. Also, when you think about facilitating a game with the girls, make sure you explain the rules ahead of time. Be mindful of your physical placement within the group. And if you think some things may be confusing, maybe possibly act it out ahead of time, or make sure all the girls understand it before they start the game. We probably will all run into problems with time management because of this new curriculum. So, just be mindful of that and don't worry about it. You definitely want to include that processing piece and the energy awards in the lesson. So please do not skip those. Most importantly, have a great time with your girls and your coaches, and keep in communication with us if you have any questions, and we hope that you have a great season.